Okay, now we're at the relative metropolis of Garrison, which has expanded parking, and I hope they don't make you pay on weekends. Guess I should check. Something about free parking. Anyway, they have a nice overhead walkway. So if you park on this side, you can get over to the New York City bound side, which these people are waiting for. Maybe we'll see the train when it comes. Free parking Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. There you go. But as more and more people see this area and realize that it's not that hard to commute in to New York City if you can afford to live up here, it's not a bad commute. Especially if you get an express in the morning. All right, let's go up and take a look. It's windy here by the river, but it's really a dramatic view. If you can see through the branches of the trees that are just starting to bud. That's West Point Military Academy straight across the river. And you see these brick houses. It's where the officers live, I believe. And a tugboat is pulling up a little barge upriver. So I once lived up in Cold Spring, and as cute as Cold Spring was, we really thought this was cute here, and we kept our eye out for anything that might open up, either to buy or to rent. Like this little building here looked like it had some rental apartments that would be right next to the train station. It'd be so convenient. Here comes another northbound train. Pretty close together. We weren't at Manitou that long ago. Well, this is Amtrak. It's going to go right through. On the Hudson River line. But I was listening to them making announcements. It must be for the southbound train that's also coming soon. So let's look at a little bit of the quaint architecture here. This is the old low-level platform where the train used to stop, with an old canopy here that they've left, which is kind of nice. And picture perfect housing stock here. There might be some offices too. And they have the old station house, and you can take this tunnel, I believe, underneath. I believe it's still open. Beautiful old station. Now it's a Phillipstown Depot Theater. That's the town we're in, Phillipstown, that Garrison is in. 1928. Let's take a quick look before the train gets here. A little damp, but not bad as far as tunnels go. So you got various ways to get from the northbound side to the southbound side. You can take the overhead pedestrian walkway or the tunnel right here by the old station. And here's our train coming in. Boy, it's an old Penn Central engine livery. New engine, but painted in the Penn Central's colors. So the people are getting on the high level platform that we just saw. You know, for a little town, there's a lot going on here. Little marina, waiting for the boats to return. Wherever he's going, it's really convenient, isn't it? Get off the train, walk over to your house. Walk up this little downtown before we leave here. And here it goes southbound. Busy little quiet place here in Garrison. So there's a little restaurant here called Dolly's. It opens up at 4 o'clock. Open Wednesday through Sunday for early dinner and regular time dinner. And here comes another barge going south. Now, the Hudson flows both ways. It's a tidal estuary, it's not really a river. So when the tide comes in, the current goes north. And then when it goes out again, then it goes south. So it's not like it always is flowing south. And the U.S. Military Academy, West Point, you used to be able to go in there and walk around and just watch them do drills and marching and stuff like that, but now you have to go in through a security gate. It's been like that way for a while, and I think you have to have a stated reason to go into the campus, so it's a more secure facility. Maybe they allow you to come in, well, you have to be able to come in to go to football games at their stadium and for other things. So it's not like it's strictly military purposes. But they want to know who you are when you're coming in. So let's take a look at this station. What a beautiful station. I mean, the parking spaces are for tenants only, so if they're not just talking about commercial tenants, then maybe people can rent here. Just a beautiful station. I'll try to find out who designed it. Let me see if there's a plaque on it. Oftentimes not, but sometimes yes. Let's see. Here comes another ambulance. Amtrak train going south. Like I said, for being bucolic and idyllic and rustic and rural, whatever else you want to call it, it's pretty busy. Now the closest stations that you can get on Amtrak going south, you have to go to Croton, and going north you have to wait till you get to Poughkeepsie, and then it makes other stops at smaller towns like this north of Poughkeepsie. Take one more walk around, see if I can find a plaque here. This place is open. It's a gallery. Garrison Art Center. Books, maps, and prints. Antipodean. I mean, really some crunchy type places around here. Here at the northern end of the station, the southbound track goes through a tiny little tunnel underneath this rock outcropping, and the northbound track goes around it through a cut. That would be dramatic to see a train come through right as we're here. So this is the third way to cross the tracks in Garrison on the road bridge. It's windy here. I'm picking it up on my phone here, but I just wanted to do a telephoto of the station looking south. So this is the road we'll be taking back out of town, climbing up. And one other thing I've noted about Garrison, it's the home, I don't know if it's the current home, but it was the home at least of a former governor of New York, fairly currently, George Pataki, who was governor for 12 years a couple of governors ago. I think he also ran in some primaries to become a Republican nominee for president, and that didn't go so well. But he is or was a lawyer, and he looked a lot like my dad. I always thought tall, like my dad was. Anyway, so we'll go back to our car and go to the next station north, which will be Cold Spring. And I used to live in Cold Spring for 1 year. And one weekend, a friend of mine came to visit from California, from LA, and I was thinking of things to do, and one thing we did is we went down to the station at Cold Spring and took the train one station south here to Garrison, got off, and then we hiked back to Cold Spring. But we didn't go along the highway, we went inwards. There's some picturesque areas, including waterfalls. It's just another area that you can put on your itinerary if you want to do different hikes up here. And that'll be the same case for Cold Spring. And there'll also be a little station north of Cold Spring specifically for hikers, which we'll stop and take a look at. And there's that big American flag. I wonder if that's where former Governor Pataki lived, or if that's a school. Anyway, we'll go back to the old station and back to the parking lot here in, well, it says Phillipstown, and it's also Garrison, New York. And this mural reminds me of when we'd go through Garrison. I'd see this mural. It's really faded away, needs to be touched up, but it's a great Hudson River scene back when everybody used sailboats. All right, back to the car. And up in the Hudson Valley, where it's been settled since the 1600s, late 1600s going into the early 1700s, like here's an old carriageway, driveway up to someone's estate maybe, and now they've just got it planted with grass. But it's cool with the stonework, that level of effort that went into that. So many things to look at up here. By the way, there are elevators here too, and it's high level platforms, so this station is handicapped accessible. I just got up to the Route 9D that will take into Cold Spring, but this is such a pretty church. I just wanted to stop and take a little bit of a look at it, and it's across from a school. It's quite a little complex here at this church here, and another chapel up there. A cute cemetery around the church. And a classic Hudson River Valley roof with bands. That's what I always equate with the Hudson River Valley. And there must be where the parson lives, or lived. I'm sure it's a popular place for weddings, even if you're not of the particular denomination that this is. And it starts to be in this area where I have ancestors, so when I'm looking at headstones, sometimes I'm looking for names that I've discovered or part of my forebears. Really pretty. You go to any cemetery, you're going to see something unique, but this is, it says the strife is over, and the last name is Eyes, E-Y-E-S. Something, huh? One more little thing I noticed. Here's a headstone for someone who was in the military, and they've also put a footstone that is really meant to last. So if the stones start to wear away, you'll still have something that'll really last a long time. I've seen that in a couple of spots here.